Okay, welcome to our senior gold call. We're going to talk about what it's going to take to get to senior gold. So, first thing I would like you to do is to make an affirmation. Have you all made an affirmation for this? What you think about, you bring about. What you speak happens. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't understand the power of words, but I would just encourage you to make it visual. I am senior gold, or I will be senior gold, whatever way you want to frame it. Or why did I get to senior gold so quickly? Think of those things. Have those things on your brain because it affects your success level. It affects your speed. And when you get those fears coming, you look at your affirmations, okay? So I am actually going to pray over y'all really quick. I was just praying just in my spirit, just quiet, in my head about this call. And so I just am going to pray over your businesses really quick, and then we'll get started with what I'm going to share. All right, Lord, we just do want to thank you for everyone that's on the call tonight. I just thank you for the leaders that these people are. I thank you for their desire. I really feel that people have correct desires in light of why they are wanting to work Plexus, why they are doing this. I just pray a blessing over their businesses, over their families, over their marriages, and their influence, and the people that they will affect, Lord, by their leadership position. And I do just thank you in advance for your answered prayer. I pray you direct each one of these people to ones that specifically need this business and ones that are going to be willing to really work it and do what it takes and tag team with these leaders to be successful. Lord, I thank you for just answering these prayers in advance. I just pray a blessing over each one of these people tonight. I pray you direct my words and the others that share tonight. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so let me get my notes out here in front so that I'm not looking away from you guys. I jotted down some things and thought back over my journey when I was gold. And so the first thing I'm going to say is to pray. Pray for ideas, pray for creativity, because your journey is not going to look like mine. And it's kind of like a lot of things that we do in life. I can't do it for you. Your sideline can't do it for you. Your husband can't do it for you. It's kind of like, I always think about it in terms of like life and death. I know that seems maybe very dramatic, but when I go in to have a baby, there's no one that can deliver my baby except me. I have to go through that. It's the same way with death. I mean, it sounds weird to maybe be bringing this up, but like you are the one that has to walk that path. So in light of promoting to the next rank in Plexus in a business setting, you're the one that's going to take that journey. And yours is specific for you. Like, I don't have your network. You don't have my network. I don't have your personality and your thought processes. So this is something that we can give you ideas and share our journeys and what we've done, but it'll ultimately be you figuring out that roadmap, okay? So like I've said before, this journey is kind of like those little toddler mazes where you'll hit roadblocks, but it's the way to get out of that and back onto the journey that you want to have is you're going to have to figure out how to get around those roadblocks. It's something that you'll have to be asking yourself the questions. Why is this not working, or why is this working? Let's keep doing what's working, right? So I made a couple notes here. Number one is be the leader you wish you had. When I think back to when I was gold and senior gold, I wasn't depending on anyone on my team necessarily. Like I felt like I was pulling and running with, a pack, but I had to be out doing the things and showing and leading by example. And I know we always hear that in Plexus, but I'm just reiterating that is so important. And I put hashtag no excuses, hashtag no complaining. I think those are two of the biggest roadblocks that you can get into. And I'm not saying that you can't state the obvious or that you can't, share your reality or share how you're feeling. But if you dwell on those things too long, it'll hold you back and it'll keep you from progressing. When when I'm tempted to complain or like I feel like I'm stuck, my wheels start turning and I start thinking, okay, what can I do differently? What can I change about me? What could I do to be more successful in this area? So I think that is something that I've realized that I'm a little bit naturally bent towards that when I encounter an issue, whether it's with homeschooling or in my Plexus business or with a friend, a conflict with a friend or whatever. Trying to figure out ways, looking for solutions. That's what I'm trying to say, looking for solutions, okay? All right, so what is it going to take? Let's talk about the numbers, okay? So I was not a numbers person prior to Plexus. I'm still not a math person, okay? You can get to Diamond not being a numbers person, but you have to learn a little bit about numbers so that you have an idea of what you're trying to shoot for, okay? You can have people run reports for you. Maybe your husband is a numbers person. That's awesome. But you need to know in your brain, you need to see that gold is 100 points, okay? Senior gold is 250 points. So gold means in order to get those 100 points, you need 20 active people in your levels 1 through 3. That means that they have 100 PV or over. And to go to senior gold means 250 points and 50 active people in your levels 1 through 3. Now you can't bank on people that are just on your team, because if we all did that, we would all be like 5 ranks higher, right? If we counted all those people, but we can't count on those people necessarily. I mean, some people order every other month, or they're missionaries and they order every 6 months. We have to look at who's consistently ordering. That's the thing, okay? Now, to get to gold, you most likely did it yourself. And you may or may not have dabbled to get there, depending on how fast you got there. Getting to senior gold is a different story. Like if you want to get from 20 active people to over doubling that number, you have to be intentional. It's not going to just happen by osmosis. Like you'll have to be in your back office. You'll have to view your Plexus business as a job that you show up to every day. You're consistent, intentional, and that you're communicating with your upline and your downline so that you can be successful, okay? Rank Up Roadmap. If you guys haven't utilized that, which obviously the back office is switching over right now, so we can't check that out. But if you haven't taken advantage of that tool, be sure to do that, because that will be so key. It's way more than I can give you on the Zoom, okay? So definitely check that out. I want to talk about the why and the how, okay? So your why. A lot of you have written down your why. If you haven't written your why, make sure you do that, because that's going to be key. You have to catch a vision for what Plexus is and what it can be for you. I like that scripture that talks about write the vision and make it plain. So you not only have to write the vision for yourself and make it plain, but you have to somehow help that click for people on your team. Sometimes it's that income disclosure. Sometimes it's maybe having a heart-to-heart. Maybe it's them seeing you do the things and be successful. It's very interesting. When I look back through the people on my team that started sharing and not just started dabbling, but actually have progressed in their business, I've gone back and asked them, like, what was the clicker for you? And it was different for each person. And for some of them, actually for a lot of them, it was money. It's when they got paid. And they were even off their own products, and they were like, I just got $50. Why did they pay me this? And so then they start to see, oh, well, what could happen if I started to share? Like this could like change everything, like they say, you know? So I would just encourage you, if you don't have a vision, meaning you don't have a why, or maybe your why is limited. Maybe you need to expand that why, or maybe you simply need to share that more. Maybe that means you're going to share it on Facebook more consistently instead of copying and pasting other people's things. Maybe it's sharing that way. Maybe it's sharing that vision with the people closest to you. And hey, if the people closest to you don't do Plexus with you, that doesn't mean you can't be successful. Okay? You can be successful without people that are super close to you, okay? And the how. The how, I'll just say, the majority of your time is going to be spent recruiting. And I guess I hesitate to say that word, maybe because it sounds so MLM, but that means you're sharing with people and you're signing up people, okay? And so I would just encourage you to look at your team. What do you have to work with, okay? You're going to have to evaluate who is on your team. Maybe they're all wholesale customers. When did you last ask them what their goals were? And then here's the clicker is, what do I do if, okay? And then you're going to plug in your scenarios, okay? All my people say, I don't want to work a business, or I don't want to share. Think of what you could do, because I don't have your people and I don't know them. Think of what you could do to maybe inspire them to do something. Maybe they're not willing to share, but maybe they would let you make a post on their Facebook wall. Or maybe if you revisit those conversations and believe in people, they would be like, well, I might be interested. Maybe I would. Maybe it's just revisiting some of those conversations. And if you feel like you've done that, you beat a dead horse, then that means that's not the team that's going to get you to senior gold. Okay? And so that might sound harsh, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, those maybe just wholesale people. Maybe you are sharing the products and not the business at all. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Some of those people may end up working the business. They just don't know they are yet. Okay, a lot of us started just for products. Okay, so one thing that I was thinking is, okay, say I took the last 20 people that I've recruited and had to make a gold team go senior gold, okay? Regardless of everyone else that's on my team, just those last 20 people. What would I do with those people, and how would I get to senior gold, okay? Number one, I can do it. Number two, I can do it fast. And number three, I don't know what number three is, but anyways, my point is, I would figure out a way to get from 100 points to 250 points, and I would map it out. I would go to each one of those 20 people and have some heart-to-hearts with them and figure out what their thoughts are about sharing this business. Because if we can help the duplication, that's going to be key. Okay, Brooke Hemingway, she says she's not a super strong recruiter. She said she'll sponsor maybe 3 to 4. She's like, I've never sponsored 15 in a month or whatever, those high numbers that some people do. She said, what I'm good at is duplicating. And so she has found what works for duplication for her team, which is interesting because she's if you've listened to her, she's very calming, very plain Jane. I mean, super sweet. She's getting ready to be Diamond Emerald. Like, seriously, guys, she's been fast tracking on her second reentry leg. So she has figured out how to duplicate and how to duplicate well. She was on the leaderboard twice. Well, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. And so if Brooke can do this, we can do this. It's easy to compare, and it's easy to make excuses saying, well, she's a nurse, her husband's a doctor, they have a lot of credibility, so they probably don't have as much attrition on their team. They probably, stop the excuses, right? We can be just as successful as her or anyone else, right? It's simple things. It's not complicated. It's very, very simple things, guys. So I'll just share my story really quick. My silver people, the people that made me silver when I signed, so I signed with 3 people, they were not people I knew well. One of them I did, but the other 2 were kind of acquaintances. I did not depend on them. I fast-tracked it to gold myself, and then I fast-tracked it to gold again by signing up 20 people under Justin, okay? And in that close time frame, there are some business builders in there. They started to dabble a little bit. But guess what? I just kept going. I kept sharing. I was chatting with him a little bit. I don't think I was that great of a trainer, but I was doing the things. I think that's the key is, are you doing the things? So make sure you answer that question for yourself. And remember, we're looking for the few. We're looking for the few people that are going to do what we're doing, right? That's not going to be vast numbers. And another thing, too, is to ask yourself, am I reaching out about this business? It's easy to make assumptions about people, and it's easy to make assumptions in the negative. Oh, they would never want to do this. Oh, they don't need money. Oh, this or that, right? Well, a lot of people feel lousy, and a lot of people would love to have extra money. A lot of people would consider an extra income source or another stream of income. And sometimes it takes us, like if Jessica Heffley or my sponsor or anyone else, I think if they would have reached out to me about this business and framed it in an honorable, in a attractive, in a belief building way, I think I would consider it. Like if I knew them well and I trusted their character, and they invited me to take a look at what they were doing business-wise, I think I would have given it a look. But I was recruited because of the products, basically. And that's perfectly fine too. But consider, don't be scared to reach out about the business and to post about the business, okay? So I would encourage you to evaluate what might be holding you back. Evaluate your top strengths, your top 5 strengths, and your top fears. Okay, those 2 things could be, your fears are what could be holding you back in some areas. So a lot of this journey is self-evaluation, and a lot of it actually, I was talking to Charlotte Seams at Leaders Retreat. She said it was either 80 or 90% of this business is mindset. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy to me, but I agree. I totally agree. Make sure you're affirming to yourself that this is a journey. This is not something that you're going to wham, bam, wake up one morning and find yourself at whatever rank you're wanting to be, okay, or senior gold, okay? This is a learning journey. This is a learning process. You're finding out what works and what doesn't work, okay? It's a journey that requires emotional maturity. If you're emotionally attached to every single person that you sign and assuming that they're going to work the business, or assuming they're going to order 100 PV every month, or assuming this or assuming that, you'll be on a roller coaster. And we want to be stable and not be all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Staying calm, knowing that yes, people might quit. Yes, this might happen, that might happen, but you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stay the course. God's going to give me wisdom and creativity and ideas. And the things that I've done to grow may not be what you guys do to propel. You might have better ideas, be more creative, think of new and exciting ways to grow. And that's perfectly fine. And you'll be able to train your team on the cool things that you find out. Okay. So the other thing, we're going to do actually a leadership training in the beginning of January with Golds and Above, and I'm super, super, super excited about it because it's exactly what John Maxwell trained about at Leaders Retreat, and it's the 5 levels of leadership. And I would just encourage you to consider what your leadership level is. Consider, have you hit a lid? Okay, I see people that get stuck at gold and senior gold, and I think it's a lot of times one of 2 things. It's either that they've quit working, like they just don't have any action. They hit their gold goal and then they're done, basically. Or they've hit a leadership lid. So it's an action issue or a leadership lid issue. And to get past that, we have to work on our influence. So that comes with personal development, okay? Read some of Dale Carnegie's books. Those are super helpful. It's duplication, and it's recruiting the right people, okay? Like I said before, if you don't have business builders on your team, then you need to go find them. Find out who those people are. And that comes with talking to a lot of people. It's like that's your job, is talking to people. It's networking with people, finding out who might be interested in doing this, okay? A lot of times duplication is the missing link because most people can get to gold by themselves. But in order to get from gold to senior gold, most people won't unless they start duplicating, okay? So action is the key. And I would just ask you guys, who on your team wants to go silver? Who on your team do you see going silver? Sometimes it takes you pouring belief into other people. So I would definitely utilize your chat threads. Find out who from your team is interested in letting you share on their wall. Maybe they're willing to chat with a couple of people. Maybe they're wanting to get a couple of accountability partners. It's good to revisit those conversations, okay, if you haven't in a while. Let's see. Okay, so then I had a couple of questions about taking inventory. Am I where I want to be? And I'm assuming you're not, since you're all in this call. You want to be senior gold instead of gold. How am I spending my time? And this is something that actually spoke to me at church this morning, is that we can be learners but not doers. And I think that's something that's a danger right now in Plexus, because when I started, there were some resources, but there were not the vast amount of resources that there is now. And it's very easy with social media and things like that to just be like ping, 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 and as soon as 2 hours have gone past and you haven't actually done any plexus work. And so how you're spending your time, what are your fears, and what are you doing in that time that you have to work plexus? And I'll just say that the majority of my work for the first year, well, a little bit less than a year, that it took me to go to Emerald was full-on recruitment mode. That was my main goal, was just helping people get started, sharing with people and signing them up. And then obviously helping them get started, getting on their products. And then I think because I was in such high momentum and so much activity and doing the work myself, I really think that duplicated into my team. Remember, your team is a diluted version of you. And so much of this depends on us. But I'm going to actually turn it over. I see Lisa on. I don't see Angie, unless Angie's on the phone. I know Lisa was going to share a little bit of her journey from gold to senior gold.
Hey guys. That was awesome, Megan, that our team is a diluted version of us. That's very good. So for me, what I spent a lot of my time doing between really from the time before I went silver until I went senior gold, I'm not a great, amazing worker, kind of like what Brooke was talking about, what Megan was referring to. I've never done 15 in a month. I think the most I've done has been like 6. I think 6-ish, something like that. But what I did do was I feel like we the things that I'm saying, I feel like we've said so many times, but I just feel like they're so vital. Number one, building your belief. So this is what I literally did. And I said this on a team call that we just had. But honestly, guys, when everyone else was watching TV, when everyone else was doing things, I was literally sitting and watching every training video. And if you say you've done that, you got to go find somebody else that you can watch that maybe you haven't seen, or maybe you need to rewatch. Because I promise you, once you do that enough with a personality that you can, track with, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it's Brooke Hemingway or Jessica or Megan, whoever it is, because we're all different. But I promise you, when you do that, you build belief to the point where you have more confidence. So when you're reaching out, you are believing, just like what Megan was saying, you're believing that you're going to recruit. So that's probably one of the top things. And I literally would spend probably 6 to 6 hours on a Sunday, maybe 5. And that's after 3 full services at church, not getting home until like 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. I would work probably another 5 to 6 hours because I wanted to promote. I wanted to promote bottom line, okay? And the second thing that we talk about all the time is that accountability partner. And so when you're feeling this, like Megan was describing, I have been there more times than I can count. I mean, at every single rank, right? When you're fearing that you're not going to make that rank, when you have that person that is the person that can tell you exactly what you need to hear, you need that. And if you do not have that, you need to knock on the door until you find that person. Okay? Bottom line. So that's number 2. And there was a third one I had, and guys, I'm sorry. There's a third one I had and I wanted to share with you. And I was just watching that Brooke Hemingway one. It's actually one that I hadn't seen before, but it was when she was talking about retention. And Megan, you just said that about asking one. So going back and asking some of those people that are on your team, if they don't have, say they've never signed anyone, ask them, hey, it'd be fun if you had an accountability partner, because obviously we want everyone to duplicate and we want everyone to go silver. Why should they pay for their products? But I have noticed some of the people that I have signed up probably in the last 6 months, when I ask them, hey, do you know 3 people? Some people, it's overwhelming. And if Megan had said that to me, I think I would have been overwhelmed, right? But if I had just thought of one person, it might have been not overwhelming to me. So that's something that she said. And I know, Megan, you just touched on that, but I really feel like that's really key, because if you have all of your people, add one. Who do you know? I mean, we never know where that person that's going to really build your business. Okay, so it's like a twofold thing. Go after your business builders, which I feel like that's something I'm still mulling over and working toward, and I have gone after, but I need to continue to do that. You need to continue to do that. Look for people who have influence. Look for people that are busy. We're not going to look for somebody that and say, oh my word, I need somebody that has time to work this. No, we don't need people that have all this time. I mean, yeah, great. You know, we want everyone to get helped. Look for the busy people. I know that in ministry, it's the same is true with Plexus. Look for busy people because there's a reason that they're busy. They're successful, most likely. Okay. Busy people. And you're going to then ask people, and I wish I'd done this. This is not something that I've done, but I can tell you that when you set a goal and you want to hit it, you're going to have to make some changes. It's going to take, it's like what Megan has said, what it took to get you to gold is not necessarily, it's not going to take that. The same activity that it took you to get to gold is not going to take you to senior gold. So you have to look at it differently. You have to be willing to kind of put on your thinking cap and adjust. It's like that paradigm shift. You're going to adjust your thinking at every single rank. And sometimes, usually, it's uncomfortable. Usually it makes you think, and I know we always kind of overuse that term, think outside the box, but you literally have to think outside the gold box. You have to start thinking, okay, I'm more than doubling my points. That means that I'm going to have to more than double my output. Does that make sense? So it is not impossible, guys. Clearly it's not. We're not special. Those of us that have ranked senior gold and above. Okay, just to get to gold is a huge accomplishment. And I remember the night that I went gold and I'm thinking, how am I ever going to get to senior gold? But I will tell you, it's consistency. And I wish that I had asked more people. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go back and ask the people I have, let's get an accountability partner for you, one person. And so then as you start signing people up, start asking those people, okay, from like here on out. And maybe you guys, you probably already are doing this, but to me, I feel like it's more encouraging. So those are kind of my tips. And I feel like we're evolving and we're constantly, and I like what you said, Megan, it's not natural. Not everybody is a problem solver. And when you say, you're thinking, how can I make that better? Some personalities don't do that. And I do that, but I'm not quite as good at it as Megan is. So I want to encourage you that even if you're not good at that problem solving, you can get better, and you want to hook up with someone that is good at it. Usually your sideline partner is going to have a little bit, you should, iron sharpens iron. You need to have a little bit of that, yes, you get along and you see things the same way, similarly, but you've got to have someone that is like sandpaper a little bit to get you moving along. So if you're not really good at problem solving, you need to have a sideline partner that is good at problem solving. So they can say, okay, let's look at your points. You need that. Okay. That's so, so vital. And of course your sponsor, your upline, they're there to do that for you too. But there's something about having that sideline. I feel like I harp on that. Maybe it's because it's literally been the difference for me in this journey, completely made the difference. So I just wanted you to be encouraged that if you're not the type of person that looks, of course I am wanting to be, I'm not saying I'm not a problem solver. You hear what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is some of us are better at that than others. We can improve, but we improve by personal growth, which that was the third thing I was thinking of, the personal growth. And it's also the people that you're around. Okay. So I just wanted you to think of it a little bit differently that way.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. And I agree. It's very much evolving. It's what we did to get to our current rank is probably not going to be the same stuff that some of it's going to be the same, but it's going to take more effort, maybe more input, maybe more creativity, maybe more brain space, maybe trying stuff we haven't tried before. It's going to take a lot of communication. Communicating with your current people, finding out what customers are interested in upgrading to become an ambassador. A lot of people that are high in Plexus, not a lot, but several of them were customers for a big period of time. Bridget Ryan was. She was a customer because she did not want to do this. And then same with Celeste Gwynn. She told her sponsor, Jen Hawkins, hey, I sent you all my people. I referred all my people to you. So you already have them signed up. She's the first double diamond in Plexus. She had a few other people on her list, apparently. But let's just talk really quick. Okay, so I kind of talked numbers for a minute. But then again, amazingly, I'm a musician, but I'm not a math person. Okay, isn't that crazy? I was so glad I got out of college with only one math class. But anyways, the jump from 100 points to 250 points means you're going from 20 people to 50 people. Okay, and these are all active people. And so that's the difference of 30 people. Okay, so you're going to have to add 30 people. If you're currently at 100 points, you need to add 30 people to go senior gold. Now, remember, the faster you go, the less people it'll take. I know some people that have been chugging along. They just go at their pace, but they're adding maybe 3 a month, 4 a month, 5 a month, team wide, and they're not getting very, very far. They have a very consistent team, a very consistent, 100-point team, or maybe they hang out at between 140 and 160 points every month. In order to see growth, there's going to have to be a massive increase of action and output. And so I had to get mad last year. I'm mad at myself, not mad at the team. Mad at myself for not getting the planner. Some of it's timing. Just know, some of it's timing. But I realized that I did not have enough action in my own business, and I had to change that. And so I changed it first. I changed myself. I decided, you know what? I'm drastically increasing my action. And then I got the team on board and doing the same things I was doing and duplicating those efforts in March. And these were kind of ideas that I ended up realizing and then implemented. Okay, so you may have to do the same thing with your team. And so how do you add 30 people? You may be looking at that and saying, okay, the most my team has ever added in a month is 5, or maybe 10, or maybe 20, whatever. You will have to figure out, maybe look at the numbers. Who on your team adds people? Maybe you'll have to get together with them over lunch or on a Zoom if they're not local and say, okay, in order for our team to go senior gold, we need to add 30 people. How are we going to do this? Okay, massive action might mean you're hosting multiple sip and sees in the month. You might be hosting launches for new ambassadors. You may be talking to more people about the business instead of signing up everyone as a wholesale customer and projecting that on them, saying they're a wholesale customer. Hey, they may be your jewel, but you have set the lid on them that they're only a customer because that's what they told you. They didn't want to work this business. Well, you never know. Okay, so I'm just saying. So in order to do that, 30 people, is that feasible? Yes, it's feasible. If you add 3 a month, it'll take you 10 months if you do it yourself. Okay, say you have 5 people on your team that are working. If they each add 3 people this month, then that's 15 people. If you add 3, that's 18 people, okay? Find out the difference of how many you need to add. Okay, Lisa has to go. Bye, Lisa. Thank you for sharing. So just looking at the numbers and mapping that out is not just you, but your team. Consider you're not just a one-man show. You want to be helping your team duplicate your efforts as well. So I'm going to open it up for a couple of questions before we pop off. I don't know if this was helpful. Some of this stuff I feel like maybe it's not. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot in light of the things I'm like, it's action, guys. It's full-on recruitment mode. It's, doing those types of things. But let me know what your thoughts are. What did I forget to touch on something maybe? Like, feel free to unmute yourself and share. Or if you want to share, maybe you don't have questions, maybe you just want to share something that you're going to implement. Maybe that would be helpful. Oops, Katie, did you just unmute?
I did. I have a question, but my kids are telling me I'm too loud. Hold on. I might be going about the whole business thing the wrong way. What do you say, like, when you have somebody sign up? Because everybody that's signing up with me, well, a lot of them are doing the wholesale thing, but I never present like the business part of it. I never do that with anyone.
I didn't either.
Start up front that they don't want to do. They just want the products at like a good price.
If they say that to me,
yeah,
then I'll say, yeah, that's totally fine. I usually say something like, in the beginning, I would just be like, okay, no worries. And then sometimes some of those people would surprise me because they would get added to our team page, and then I would see everyone else that was doing something, and that sparked a little something in them. Some people that tell me that now, or actually everyone that tells me that, I'll just say, yeah, that's totally fine. I respect that. But I always encourage people to consider who they know that might have autoimmune issues, gut issues, needing some hormonal balancing, or simply just like, do quality supplements. That's like something they're interested in. I always kind of put that little plug in saying, like, I totally respect it if you aren't interested in sharing, but consider who do you know. And also the other thing too is people's success drastically increases when they have accountability partners. So maybe it's your mom or your best friend or someone that wants to do this with you, because sometimes someone else's journey is a little different than yours, and it'll encourage you to stay the course if you don't see results right away, is that these products do work and we want you to be successful. So consider that. Like, have you ever thought of anything like that before? So sometimes it's just planting those little seeds, and then it's like they'll start to think about those things, just you gently suggesting it or just planting that little seed. Does that sound inorganic to share that?
No, not at all. And do you do that usually over the phone, or do you message them over the phone?
Yeah, I sign people up over the phone now pretty much all the time. And so then when we're chatting, usually I'll find out their goals. I'll just say, I just like to hear what your thoughts are in light of what your goals are with the products, and if you would ever consider sharing your results with other people, or if you know of someone that is really struggling with their health, or they're looking for a business opportunity. Would you be open to chatting about that?
All right.
And then I'm going to be quiet and see what they say.
All right, that's good. So can I go back and do that with all the people that have signed up so far? Would you?
I would.
Yes.
Oh, I totally would. What's that?
Would you call them each individually? Would you call them individually?
No, I would once your back office is up, go through and sort it by all your level ones, and just voice message them all and say, hey, Sally, I was totally checking. Oh, hey, Sally, this is Megan, or Katie, whatever. I just wanted to check in and see how your products are going. And also, I was curious what your thoughts are. How would I frame that? I would probably say something like, I totally thought of you with the results you're having. Like, if I know they're having good results, I'll just say something like, curious if you've ever thought about sharing with your close friends or anything like that. Or sometimes I'd be like, I don't know. I think just, however you can think of it to frame it in a really genuine way to encourage them to share.
Okay.
And
I'll do it tomorrow.
Maybe it's something like, I know you're loving your products, and I was just curious what your thoughts were about sharing, or if you'd be willing to let me share your story.
All right, I can do that.
If you need to, just like jot down a couple notes before you do your. I feel like voice messaging it is helpful, or if you Marco Polo with your people, that would be good too.
Okay.
That's even scarier because then they can see your face and you can see your own face. Sometimes I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, that's good. All right, that's good.
All right, who else has it? Quick.
Megan, I have a question.
Yeah. Oh, Jocelyn?
Yeah.
Hey.
We talk about duplication all the time, and I guess I have one runner, but I don't know, when we say duplication, I guess I just don't know what else I feel like I'm doing the things. I'm, doing my IPA and everything every day, and I stay in constant communication with my people, but like, I don't know, duplication is just such a big word that I don't know what to do with.
So I think
how do you duplicate to people?
It's helping people do something. And from those people, you'll see who really wants it.
Right.
They'll show you that they do. It's kind of like pulling teeth to try to duplicate with people that are dabbling. Okay, so
Okay. That's what it feels like.
yeah, my dabblers, I kind of not bless and release them, but I bless them. But I'm like, okay, I'm looking for someone else. Like,
Let's move on, kind of.
yeah, like I'm helpful to them, but my energies, if they're not the ones, if I only have those people, then I'm out looking for other people. And giving them little challenges, like if they're in a little chat thread, I'm like working on silver chat thread, or maybe you have a group of them.
I just started a new one of those, so we'll see how that one goes.
So you can give them little assignments and see who does them. I mean, you can't make everyone do it, but sometimes you can inspire people to do a little bit, and sometimes it's even doing a little incentive, like doing a water bottle for people that post on Facebook this week, even if you feed them the post to post or whatever.
Okay.
Helping them to do something. If you can get them to help them go silver, I'm not saying doing the work for them, but I think helping them go silver, like inspiring them to do the work. Their belief a lot of times is just soars once they hit silver. So that's so key. Even having one person join, it's like sometimes that's all the clicker people need, and they're like, all right, I'm on it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I also think, in light of what Jocelyn just said, that it's helpful with duplication to just let your people know what you're doing. Because I think a lot of times people might think, I'm just lucky or whatever, which is so not the case. And in the beginning, I wasn't really telling my team members what I was doing. So
like the what I did today kind of posts. Yeah, I've done a few of those. Okay.
Yeah. And just even, your runner, that one person, or, you're in your chat thread, just sharing what you're doing. Because it is work, and it's hard work. Mm-hmm. And for many of us, we have so many other things in our lives. So I think it's important. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to also, is some people, either just don't have what they need right now to do that work, every day. Mm-hmm. So, but that was just my thought.
Yeah, totally agree. I didn't do that in the beginning. I assumed that people would see what I was doing, but in reality, they were only seeing a tiny fraction of it. They may have seen that I signed 5. And so then in their mind, they're thinking, well, I talked to 5 too, and they didn't want to do anything. I'm like, girlfriend, I talked to 100 people this month. And there was, 5 people that signed up, but I moved mountains to be able to sign up 5 people or whatever it is, So I think people don't always see the action behind the success. And so they just automatically think that we're lucky, and that's not the case. So I agree. Sharing what you did today helps. I even am inspired by that. When I see you guys sharing what you did today, or I see Jessica Heffley post what she did today, that's very inspiring, and it motivates me to do more and to be better.
One more thing about what Katie said. When we did all the massive reach outs this last week, I've been trying to focus on people that I knew in my previous life. So I contacted a lot of friends from high school, which was a long time ago. So just tonight, one of those friends reached out and said, yeah, my husband and I have been watching your journey, and we're very intrigued about the business. So could you share about the business opportunity? So I started sharing on July 2, and in all of these months, I've never had anybody ask me about the business. So I was so excited, I messaged Justin to tell him. So, but anyways, I just think sharing the business is just as worthy as sharing the products, because when I started Plexus, we didn't have that extra money laying around either. So I had to change things to figure out how to pay for it. So I think many people need the business too, and the products work. So it's just a win-win. But yeah, so reach out to people, from years ago, I think is helpful too.
And people are watching, even if they never like or comment on a post. They watch, and a lot more people see your post than you realize. And also, people think that we make like $25 or $50, and they don't think that there's real money in things like this. They have preconceived ideas. A lot of people knock what they don't understand. Guilty here, okay? But our voice is what will be that little drip that starts to educate them and starts to inspire them and your consistency will cause people to think, well, maybe there's something to that. And network marketing is becoming more of a thing, and where people are making real money, and it's not $25 or $50. It's actually like life-changing money that, looking on this team alone, the amount of finances people are blessing their families with by working Plexus. And most of us are doing this with a lot of other things we're doing in our lives. And so to be able to invest, some hours during our week to do this, it's totally worth it. And I agree completely with what Lynn said about people want this business just as much as the products. They just, maybe not, they don't know it yet.
Megan?
Yeah.
I just want to share that when I share about the products, I share about the business right away.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about the products and the prices and things like that, and you generally always get, well, I can't afford it. And it's like, well, I know that I couldn't either. And that is why when I seen the business side of it, it just made complete sense to me. And then I'll kind of explain it a little bit. And that has gotten me a lot of people, because a lot of those people really want the products and need the products, but they say they can't afford it. And it's like, well, would you be willing to share? Or, what if I could help you to get your products for free? And it's like, well, how do you do that? And, when you share it, I've had a lot of people be really open about that. I've got 3 people on my team now that are sober, finally. And like 5 others that really want the business, they say. But I'm trying to get them, it's like, remember the things that we talked about in the beginning. And, but it's a fear thing too, because they, I don't think I can do it, or, what if nobody signs with me, or that kind of thing. So just kind of walking them through it step by step, showing them that, yes, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. We're very much coaches and encouragers and inspirers. And that's why we always have to be filling our cup so that we can be that for other people. Yeah, I agree. Sharing the business it's important. Anyone else have any? Oh, Jan. Yeah.
I'm changing the subject just a little bit.
Yeah.
But Katie and I are stepping out tomorrow night and doing a Facebook Live first gut health class.
Awesome.
But one of the questions we had as we were working through our outline today is we're going to be sharing kind of generically about gut health and incorporating products as it is appropriate throughout it. In other words, if we're talking about we're headed into cold and flu season, and we're talking about some of the things, to help prevent that in your family. We're going to be talking about their water intake and exercise and good food, and the fact that they need a good multivitamin, they need a good probiotic, that sort of thing. Okay, so our question for you was, when we do something like this, we were both going to be wearing our Plexus swag. But our question was, how to stay compliant. If it's a live, can we actually reference specific, can we use words like thyroid? Can we use, how can we, what can we say on our live and still
Stay compliant.
Yes.
Are you on open Facebook, or are you going to be in a group?
We're going to be on open Facebook. We're going, the goal is to go live from both of our pages at the same time with both of us.
Cool. That's neat.
So if we've got both phones up, and we'll be side by side where we are, so
Okay.
they'll be seeing the same thing from both phones.
Mm-hmm. I would probably make a list of words that you can use and use symptoms to describe. I know Almay Darling has a video on compliance and how to word things. So it's kind of the back door, but it's just as effective, because when you start describing symptoms or using code words, so you maybe make a list of those things. So I know, like, you could just, like, instead of saying migraines, you could say massive headaches that put you in bed, or instead of thyroid issues, you could just say, that butterfly-shaped gland, that people sometimes have issues with. I mean, it takes a lot more words to say it, but sometimes there's a way around actually coming out and saying those things. And when you boil down a lot of those autoimmune or mystery issues, a lot of it boils down to gut problems, energy crisis type stuff. It kind of boils down to the same foundational things in light of symptoms. I don't know if that helps.
No, we just wondered how specific we could be on a Facebook Live and what you thought there. So,
Well, I mean, you could be as specific as you wanted, but you run the risk of either someone turning you in, which I don't think Plexus people would do that, but or compliance calling you. They would just ask you to remove it if you slipped up. But I mean, sometimes I feel like in terms of compliance, when you start going down that road, I'm not perfect enough. I know that I have not been completely compliant, but it's just a matter of what they catch. But I mean, if you slip up and say a couple things, it's not like you have to erase the video or anything like that.
okay. Good. All right. Well,
Using a
we're going to try it.
Yeah, using a disclaimer at the beginning is a good idea.
Okay.
So people know ahead of time you're not diagnosing anyone. People still need to talk to their doctors, and that Plexus doesn't cure, heal, treat any disease. But you're sharing from your own personal experience, So awesome. So we have this month and next month. So this month is a prep month for next month for Senior Gold, if you're planning to qualify. And remember, so adding as many people as you can this month in order to promote next month is key. Also, remember, if you're a few people short, you can also inspire those people that order or that join next month to do the 100 PV over their welcome pack. So that's another way to qualify for points if you're trying to rank in a particular month and don't quite have the people added from the previous month. But I would definitely do whatever you need to do this month to get the number of people added to your team. Sometimes for me, that meant I was running specials at the end of the month. I would open it up to my team and say, hey guys, I have 10 spots. I'll do, maybe we do a stack with some, if it was level 2s or 3s that weren't being added. Sometimes I would just say, hey, I'm doing $10 off or $15 off your welcome pack if you join between, this blitz time. And so that would usually help me gather in the rest of the ambassadors that we needed in order to promote the next month. So sometimes it's using those creative ideas, doing some online sip and sees, getting face-to-face with your people that are working the business. That really helps. I know Sarah Taylor said anytime she got stuck in her business and she did that face-to-face with people and just like, what do I need to do to help you type attitude, that she said that was totally got them past their stuck spot. So Justin encouraged me. He said, after you have this Zoom call, he said, you need to do another follow-up and talk about implementation, because it's not just about or hearing, but actually putting it into practice and doing the things. So I'm thinking maybe we should meet back and talk about what you guys implement, or we can even maybe chat about it on the team, on that little thread in a few weeks, what you found has helped and that you've been able to implement. Because that's the key, that's the goal, is to go and do now. Any other quick questions?
Well, Megan, I missed the first probably 10, 15 minutes, and I'm not real sure I didn't hear what exactly Senior Gold was. When I look on my back office, how to become gold and everything, I understand that, but what's Senior Gold? What's the difference?
Senior Gold is 250 points instead
Okay.
of, so it's going from 20 active level 1s to 50.
50. Oh, okay. Okay.
So you'll need to utilize your team, not just.
I've actually contacted them before, and I contacted them again today, and they really totally avoid that. All of them do, even my daughter. So, I'm not too pushy. I don't know how to handle that. If I reached out and mentioned it, and some of them I see face to face, so I've invited them over for dinner to talk about it. And everyone right now has just got me at arm's length. So
those people, I wouldn't bank on them to do anything.
Yeah.
You need new people. So I'm actually recording this call, and I talked about that in the beginning.
Okay.
And how your team will change. Like, you'll still have your happy wholesale customers that don't want to share, their closet ambassadors. That might change. You never know. But you'll just go add new people.
My new people, yes, that's what I'm working on. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
You guys can all do this. It's totally doable. And I'm super excited. Angie, Lisa, Carrie, and I have all chatted about this retreat, and not Amy, but Lisa and I and Carrie, and it's going to be super, super fun. So I'll be praying for y'all, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any other questions or think of things we didn't cover on this call. But I hope it was helpful. Sometimes just getting together and chatting is enough fuel to get you through the next month. Any other quick questions? Y'all are good? Okie doke. Hi ho, here we go. I'm excited for November. Tomorrow night is a team call, so pop on. We're going to talk about some good stuff. There's going to be several people that pop on and share, so I don't want to miss it. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye.